Morning, everyone. Welcome to Higher Moment Mastermind. I'm Sheryl Lotzar, happy to host today along with my colleague Vern Schellinger. Alki will not be able to join us today, so we're happy to be here to support you in your searches. All right, so for those who are new, I think I see a couple new faces here. Lewis, are you new with us? Or Luis? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You're on mute. Maybe you're on mute. We can't hear you, but it sounds like you're in the car. Oh, maybe this won't
I'll
work.
be right back. I have to step
Okay.
away for a moment.
So for those who are new, the way we work this is it's an open Q&A for any job search question that you have, from resumes to networking to salaries to you name it. Vern and I are here to help you. By way of background, I am a recruiter and a career coach. Vern is a former HR executive and a career coach.
Okay.
And we have kind of a well-rounded lens. Oh, Luis, can you hear
Yes,
me?
it's fine. Luigi.
Okay,
It's
Luigi.
fine.
All
Luigi,
right.
that's great.
All right.
That's
Yeah, Luigi. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go into other stuff, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah,
okay.
it's fine. Whatever is easier for you.
Welcome. You're very welcome here. All right, everyone. So, who would like to kick us off with a quick? Oh, Helen, love the kitty. This is great. We love kitties.
He was just getting into trouble, which is why I'm a couple minutes late. So
That's okay. He is welcome. All right. So, who would like to kick us off with a question? Something. Ah, here
I
we go.
can ask a
Victor.
question.
Oh, actually, so Victor just raised his hand. So we'll go with Victor first and then Joan.
When they say it's like I sign a contract and says like it's a week long project only,
Okay.
but is it really a week long project? It's like 40 to 50 hours. That's all it says. And then he said like if it's good, then we'll continue. So does that mean like it's only a week? Obviously you'll now know that, just by saying I'm saying that, but what is like the usual scenario?
Well, a week is a little bit short, but I would treat that as a temporary assignment. And depending upon your fit with the role and their need to have more of you, they might be saying, "Hey, kind of let's try each other out a little bit and see if it works." I would just keep your mind very open and flexible. Put your head down, do the best job that you can, and you'll just see, is it right for you? Is it right for them? Do they need more of you? Because the thing about a contract or a temporary situation, it's not only about them, their fit, it's your fit too. That's the nice thing about it, is that you get to try it out. So to see if it actually is right. So I would just keep your mind open, do your best job, and then just see what happens after the week.
Yeah. Um, I'll add a different twist to this, and this is something else for everybody to think about as they go through the job search. If you have an opportunity to volunteer somewhere, um, the difference between talking to somebody about your skills and actually volunteering, or in
Showing.
Lewis's case, actually having a contract where he's going to be able to demonstrate his skills. Um, that goes a long way in terms of helping you be recognized and potentially, landing a job. So,
It's like a think of it like a working interview.
yeah,
That's what
yep,
it is. You're getting to show your job, your skills, which is great, right? Because in a normal traditional W-2 search, all you can do is talk about your skills
yeah.
for an interview here, an interview there, but actually getting to show what you can do is it's a really great thing.
Yeah, as Shira said, I've been on the side of the HR desk for a long time in my career, so I saw lots of resumes and I did lots of interviews. And to this day, I know that after interviewing and finally making a decision, you still never really know if the person's going to
It's
work
going to
out.
work out. It's a big
And
guess,
sometimes, and in the rare cases, they don't.
right?
Uh, so being able to demonstrate your skills and show your worth to other people is really a critical part of the job search.
In fact, I know of employers who will actually intentionally do what they call temp to hire to try to bring in a temp in the role just to try them out. Now, of course, the flip side of that is that that the employer is limiting themselves only to unemployed people, right? They can't pull a gainfully employed person. But if you are in transition and you see attempt to hire role, that could be your opportunity to again show what you can do. So hope that helps, Victor.
Yes.
All right, actually, I know we have a bunch of hands. I'm just going to go in order. So I believe Joan was next. I know Monica has her hand up. I think there was somebody also who raised their hand. Oh, need to? Okay, so Joan will go first, and then Monica, Luis, and then need to.
Hi, I've heard you several times over the years. And what I'm dealing with is you've always said, know your tribe and stick to it. My problem is I have two tribes and I'm trying to figure out which is the most effective tribe to pursue in this current economy.
Yeah.
I'm a CPA, I'm a former IRS agent.
Yeah.
Oh, I have those skills, and I just got off an 8-year contract with the National Weather Service as a senior budget analyst.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I want a mid-level position. I'm fully qualified for a senior level position, but I don't need 120 years and 14-hour days.
Right.
Was that a run-on sentence?
Well, I think there's a couple of things going on. You started out with you're calling. By the way, for nomenclature purposes, you've known me long enough where I used to call it a tribe. I've actually shifted my language. I call it now a community, just to be more inclusive.
Okay.
That's just what I do now.
Okay.
Want to be
I'm
sensitive to people who have a certain concept around tribe. But anyway, you're talking about sector. I think, Joan, more to the point, I think what you're really asking is about downshifting the level, right? And I know a lot of folks who are at a more seasoned stage of career who want to do that. And on the one hand, employers can get a little bit dicey about that, a little risky, like, oh, are you going to be challenged enough? Is it going to be enough for you? Even though you're saying, I want the downshift, some employers will think, she says that, but does she really mean that when she gets in the job? Is she going to really be wanting more? So your opportunity here is to really emphasize that to the employer and make sure that they understand that you are not looking for the higher level, that you're looking for something a little bit more compact. That's a real conversation that you have to manage their risk. Okay. Because again, they don't want you knocking down their door in 3 months saying, well, actually, I'm really bored in the job and I want more. They have to really understand, and you have to sort of say it over and over again. Truly, I'm not looking for the senior level. I'm looking for something a little bit more, compact. Bren, do you want to add to this? Because, you used to be in that HRC, and I'm sure you had people who were.
One thing I am finding, though, is on the tax side, I interview for, let's say, a senior tax accountant, and a couple of them have wanted to hire me at that, but then you start looking and they're going to have me as the tax manager on the cheap.
Yeah.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add, sure, at this point. I think it's an unusual situation for people, but I mean, people have done that and have done it successfully. So like I said, I don't.
It's
know that I
really
have
it's really
anything to-
about explaining it, and also for those of you who are looking for a role, if you're looking for a role and you have somebody in the middle, someone who can vouch for you, who knows your story and is a trusted person, that person sometimes can say to the employer, look, I know Joan's a seasoned, experienced person, but really what she wants is, so meaning having a third party say it on your behalf can actually be even more impactful than you saying it because it's a third party, right? And sometimes they're more trusted. So for what that's worth, hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Monica?
Yeah, I have a related question. I had a screening interview that I think went well Monday on a job related to veterans, which is my goal. But my question is that I've done a lot of volunteer work related to veterans, and one of my volunteer colleagues is connected to the CEO, other people high up in that organization, and my potential co-lead. And so I'm wondering if I should reach out to her. She has actually sent referrals to me for various jobs that didn't pan out. But if I reached out to her, I mean, I don't want to be transactional. Like, what should I say? What do you think of these people? Or, and what should I ask her to, refer my name? I don't know what the appropriate ask is. And it's someone that I kind of know well, but I don't know super well.
That's okay. I think in general, and when we answer these questions, we try to answer it for everybody.
Yeah.
Relationship rules apply. Okay, just in general, you're on the right track, Monica. You're thinking it through. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, we can't advise you specifically on this because we don't know the exact nature of the relationship. But I would say, in general, think about the relationship. Okay, number one. At the same time, let's assume best intent. Let's assume that she would want to help you. Okay. In a market like this, people are always helping each other with these kinds of things, making introductions, giving referral, giving a little bit of intel. I think it's okay as long as you are gracious in how you reach out. Probably it'll be fine just to say, hey, can you give me a little bit of backstory? Help me out a little bit. But you've got to just think that through. We don't know the exact relationship. Think it through. Probably it would be just fine. But you know what? Look, at the end of the day, we can always make a request. And
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure if I
comfortable.
should make a request or just ask her, what she thinks of these folks.
I think just reflect on it, pray on it, and just
Yeah,
see, how the Lord leads you in this, right? Because I don't think either way is probably fine. Look, she can always say no, right? We
yeah,
can make a request, but if you don't make the request, you're not going to know, right? So if you
right.
do,
Yeah.
you can always.
Yeah, but it's a company that says that their employees need integrity and to be kind. And so, that sounds very good, assuming it's true.
Yeah. Just be gracious and relational.
Yeah. I mean, Monica, it could be as simple as, I mean, you do know this person and you've had conversations with her. And I mean, just explaining, about the position that you're thinking about. And, Shira, would you be willing to help me out with this job that I'm, exploring? And she'll either say yes or no.
Right. Exactly
Right.
right.
Now,
Okay.
you said you've got it's not like you met her for the first time. You do have some relationship with her, and this whole everything we're talking about here really depends on the strength of the relationship. At the pinnacle of it is somebody who can literally, talk to somebody inside that organization and give examples of projects you've worked on, the success you've had, actually tell them about, accomplishments in your career, talk about your integrity, talk about, and give examples of that. I mean, that's somebody that knows you really, really well. Um, uh, and then, you let the cards fall where they may. They may hire you, they may hire someone else,
Right.
but it sounds like you've got a real possibility for this opportunity.
Yeah. Generally speaking, it's better to make the ask than not
Yeah.
because the person can always say no. So
Yeah,
as
no, I
long as you,
understand. I'm just trying to figure out the ask. I mean, yeah, if I should, ask her about the folks. I don't know if I want to ask her to intervene. I mean, but you just never know. Like through networking, I had a retired lieutenant general who turned my resume over to a veteran serving nonprofit. Have not got an interview, and
so I would say this, Monica, and then we'll go to Luis. You're up at bat next. Is it could be both, right? You could ask her to make the referral, and you could ask her for intel. I don't see why you couldn't do both.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
something to think about.
yeah.
All right, good. All right, Luis, and then Nitu.
Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Um, yes, I mean, I've been struggling to gain employment since around December of 23, and one thing that I've seriously considered lately is, believe it or not, going into comedy because, I mean, ever since I was very young, I make people laugh, and I'm thinking I make people laugh pretty much every day, and I don't get paid for it. So I figure, if, being right now online the with all of you, I'm gonna ask like if any of you like recommend something I could do or groups I could turn to that deal with like many people have said like go take improv classes or
Right.
or just I'm trying to get advice. I mean I've done some of my homework, but I'm trying to get advice. The more people I ask, the better for me because I am seriously thinking about doing that.
Sure.
Um,
I mean,
like
personally,
going to
I'd say
comedy,
the
have a comedy
improv.
career, maybe even acting.
Yeah. Does anyone on
Yes,
this call
yes.
have, I mean, that's not my background. Anybody on this call have any kind of intel around that world?
Actually, I
Open
can.
mic nights.
The what?
Open mic
Open mic
nights.
nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
because you
Interesting.
want to
yeah.
you want to
I
start like
yeah,
working on like
I thought about that.
generating
And
a routine. And don't ask me why I know this.
Somebody
Why do you
But
know
responded,
this?
putting
said they would
together a routine that you know kind of has a beginning, middle, and
caches.
end, and then testing it out a little bit, practicing it, and getting it kind of cold. Because if you go out and watch comics, a lot of times they have like routines that they do. They have bits that they do. And it's you might see them
Yes.
live and then see their recording on Netflix, and it's pretty much the same deal. So there's that
Okay.
aspect of it. And then once you get comfortable on stage delivering jokes, then you can start doing crowd work, which is interacting with your audience and
Yep.
then giving you
Yep.
material to work with. So that's my
Yes.
limited experience with it,
Hmm.
but definitely start
Okay.
out with open
Okay.
mic nights.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of comedians because I love Seinfeld and I love a lot of other comedians and one of them like they have a they have a road that they take, like a Seinfeld. You ever notice he does observational comedy. Other people sometimes will do
Yes.
more
Hmm.
self-deprecating comedy. Some will observe certain groups. And did you ever notice how this one does this and this one does that? So each one of them finds a road for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
But
Is that
definitely,
Yes.
try to work on
Good.
Just
material and
That's
test it
responded.
out.
good advice.
Rosalind?
Yes.
I
Luis.
was
Yes.
saying Cassius, I heard him say that he had experience, but he got cut off in talking.
Oh, sorry,
Oh
Cash.
yeah, no, Luis, I don't have experience, but a good friend of mine that I grew up with is a stage comic. So if you want, I can try to get
Okay.
you in touch with him if you want. If you
There
want to
you
like
go.
link up with me, um, I
Exactly.
can.
That'd be
There you
great.
I
go.
Yeah, I can. He does like comedy shows and he's always on Facebook talking about
Nice.
his shows and stuff. Yeah, he's a pretty larger than life character,
Okay.
so he would be a good start.
Yeah.
So Cassius, if I know Luis, you're on your phone, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to grab it, but Cassius, do you want to put your contact information in the
Yeah,
chat?
I'll send it
And then
over to
maybe
him.
find each other on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank
And
I
you.
Lewis, let
appreciate it.
us know when you debut so we can watch you.
Oh, that's what I tell everybody. Like I said, every day I go out of my way to make people laugh, and then I tell them after I make them laugh, I tell them, look, if and when I go on tour, I'll let you know, and I'll even give you free tickets. But
There you
I
go.
just ask for one big favor. God forbid if I bomb, please don't throw rotten eggs at
Yeah.
me or rotten tomatoes or
Okay.
any of that. So then they start laughing this and that. But oh yeah, believe me, all of you will get free tickets. So
Thank you.
consider it
Because they
done.
only throw fresh produce, right?
Only fresh produce, right? Nice.
Yeah, there you go. In fact, I'm eating more vegetables. So yeah, make it fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat more vegetables.
And I'll just
So
I'll
yeah,
just throw in
there you go. Good idea.
I'll just throw in one name and then we'll go to Neetu. I'm not sure if all of you have heard of Michael McIntyre. He's a hit in the UK. A lot of people don't know him here. He is one of the
Oh,
funniest and cleanest comedians I've ever seen. He does the observational humor,
okay.
absolutely a riot. And so, like Louis, obviously keep looking at all these other comedians and their styles. Michael McIntyre,
All
highly,
right, I'm gonna look him
Yeah.
up.
yeah. Oh, you'd be. He's
Thank
incredible.
you.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for that really cool
Thank you.
question. All right, Neetu.
Hi, thank you. It's my first call here, and
Welcome.
what the situation that I'm in is I've applied for roles, which is like my title is my next up, right? So I have been an AVP and this is a VP role. But when I get onto the interview and they interview me, they're like, oh my God, you have enough experience to talk directly to business. So you're kind of an overfit here because the in the senior roles, like an SVP or a director, you actually manage the team. Plus, you talk directly to the business and you define strategically the roadmap. And I've done all those three in my AVP role. And that's the reason I resigned, because I did find that I was going way beyond, my role. So it was not the right title. So this is where my gap is. When I apply on the paper, I get interview calls for VP roles. If I apply for senior roles, I get rejected. So now I have somebody in the company that I'm targeting, and I did get introduced to this person, and he's really nice. He's an executive, and he tells me from the system who is the hiring person, who is a recruiter. He gives me the email address. He's not made any introductions yet for me into the company. I have introduced him to other peers that he might be interested in for AI communications he's looking for, and really made good connections. So he sees me as a good advocate for him to give him the knowledge that he needs. He's also recently joined the company. So we're kind of building that relationship. So at least I have those contacts of the recruiter and the hiring manager for the senior roles. So now I'm working out how do I approach them. I send them an email telling them about here's my professional, what I can do for you, what my how I can contribute meaningfully to the team, and then ask for a conversation, possibly. Should I go deep into that while writing my first email to the recruiter and the hiring manager? Should I keep it light, telling them I'm interested in this role, or should I just do a completely, they say that indirect is the better approach? How should I navigate with this?
Wow, that's a complex story. I'm not sure if I was trying to connect all those dots there. Honestly, need to for that particular, I'd invite you to reach out to me or Vern offline. Maybe we can help you figure that out a little bit more, if that's okay, because it sounds like there's a lot of nuance to your story. So Vern and I will put in fact, this is for everybody. We'll put our contact information in the chat. We offer free 30-minute calls. Nita, is that okay? So we can actually advise you a little bit more specifically.
Sure. I would welcome that, and I would wait on for it. Something that we can schedule soon, so I can.
Yeah, that would be fine. So that's my email, and I'm also going to put, and this is for everyone. I'm going to put my Calendly link in there. I have it for a free 30-minute call. Vern, certainly you're welcome to do that as well. All right, so there's my Calendly link for anyone who wants to take me up on that. So hopefully we can help you more specifically. Okay. Who else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else has a question we can answer? Address. We can also go topic by topic. If there's, instead of a specific question, if you just want to have a general, more of an understanding of some particular resumes, interviewing, networking, maybe not, it's not specific to your situation, but just in general, you'd like to know a little bit more about a topic.
I had a funny thing happen this week.
Okay, Hal, share the funny thing.
So I was talking to a recruiter, and one of the pieces of feedback I got was that you've been out of the game for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And we need somebody who has recent experience. And I kind of made this comparison to somebody that for me, the work that I do, it's not just like riding a bike, because riding a bike is hard for me. It's actually easier for me to jump back in. And it's not so much explaining the gap, because I have a great story to fill that.
Sure.
But the perception before I can get to that story is, I think, working against me now. So, and I think the conversation with the recruiter kind of spelled it out.
Yeah.
So
I
go
hear
ahead.
you. It's not unusual. So what I would ask Helen is, in this year and a half, and I know you've been dealing with personal situation there, have you had an opportunity to do any kind of work, pro bono, consulting, gig, advising, volunteer, anything that you can use to sort of show that you've still been pedaling, right?
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is that I had a volunteer gig leading fundraising strategy for an association, except that I hated it.
That's okay. Doesn't matter. No, no, no.
It made me
That is
learn
irrelevant. That is
that my
irrelevant.
translatable skills for fundraising are not something that I want to pursue.
That is okay. That is okay. And there's nothing to say that you have to make a big deal about it. But a
Right.
one line, seriously, a one liner, and this is again, this is for everybody because what you're sharing is not unusual. A lot of people have been in transition a long time. This is not an uncommon concept. I would recommend for everybody here, right? If you in that situation, do a one, not a big paragraph, not a half a
Right.
page, but a one liner, a something or some things that you've been doing in this time. It's not about whether you enjoyed it or not, and it's not about making
Right.
a big deal, but you're pedaling, right?
Okay.
It just shows that you're still doing the thing. That's all I would do. One organization, the title, maybe a one liner of what you did, and that's it.
Okay.
And then if in the interview, you can certainly talk about it. Say, look, I stayed in the association space. I'm not looking to stay in the fundraising side. I'm looking to do more of the membership side or whatever. But at
Right.
least it shows that you kept your skills fresh. Vern?
And yeah, whether you liked it or not, what did you accomplish in that? If you had a positive
That's part of the reason
outcome.
why I didn't like it.
Okay.
That's all right. But you kept
Well,
you're still
You know,
kept your skills sharp.
trying to bail. It felt like I was trying to bail water out of a sinking boat with a
Yeah.
bucket,
Yeah.
because
That's
of
okay.
the situation that the organization was in that had nothing to do with
And
me,
that's
obviously.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You were still sharpening the knife, right?
I
You were still
gave
keeping-
them a lot more than what
Yeah.
they had before.
Yeah, well, and by the way, again, for everyone on the call, it's when you're talking about any sort of accomplishment story, it's not always about the win. The win could be moving the football 10 yards down the field, 20 yards down the field. It doesn't have to be a field goal, right? I want to encourage everyone here because when you're thinking about any story that you're presenting to an interviewer, they're looking for how you did what you did. What were the skills you used? What was the knowledge you used? What were the abilities that you showcased, right? How did you do it? A lot of these things are out of your control. Okay. The classic example I give whenever I coach someone who's a lobbyist, which there are many in town, a lobbyist can never actually say, I defeated this, I passed it. They don't make the vote. They're not the congressperson, right? So regardless of whether it got defeated or passed or whatever the thing, all they can ever say is, I moved the football down the field. That's it. That's it. And that's all that any one of us can say. And there are a lot of extenuating circumstances out of our control. So Helen, I would just say, this is what I got 3 buckets of water out of the boat. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's helpful. And also, I mean, a lot of the way that I'm staying connected, as you know, is through networking and professional development during this time. But
Sure.
but it just hit me really, really hard for
I
somebody
hear
to
you.
actually point out
And
that
this
gap.
will help. This will help if to overcome it. And one more thing I'll say about this, and then we'll move on to need to again, is how you frame things matters. Rather than, oh, the organization was a mess and I wasn't able to. The organization was really in a state of real challenge when I got in. Let me tell you what I was able to do. Not I couldn't get, 95% of the water. I was able to get 5% of the water out. And let me tell you how I did it. And we were shocked that I can even get 5% out because we were in such a situation. And let me tell you the skills that I used and be confident and encouraging about it. Guess what? That 5% made a difference. It did.
Right.
Made a difference. That's what you can claim. And that's for anybody on this call. Okay. Right. Need to again. And then Rosalind.
Yeah, Shira, you just said it all, right? I mean, it's like, pick up whatever you have and showcase it well.
Yeah.
And also, I would say that don't get bogged down by that experience, right? And also look out for other volunteering experience. Be in the rhythm. So if you finish that, go and find the next one so that you have something active to talk about. And I'm volunteering at PMI. It's a big organization, but goof up happens everywhere. Trust me. Um, I just had my manager send 2 emails out, something that had to be sent a week later saying 3 days are coming. I mean, it was such a mess. And it went out to 5,000 people. So it's like you go in any organization, you always find issues. And, you should just work on what you can do best and see that people are valuing it and take it from there. That's all I
And
have
I'm
to
glad
share.
that you mentioned that, Neetu, and that Helen in particular for you, because you are so ensconced in the association community, which, as we know, is a community, right? There are a lot people need help. And if you even volunteered yourself, even just to do some pro bono, Neetu makes a really good point, just to keep your experience going and saying you've been helping people, right? Regardless of whether you've got paid. Work is work. Volunteer work is work. Doesn't matter whether you get paid, right? It's just you're building your skills and helping people out, and it can overcome that experience gap. All right, great. Rosalind.
That's funny you said that because that's what I raised my hand for to add a little bit more to Helen about the volunteer opportunity as well as the perspective and how things are framed. So, Helen, I'm not familiar with CAE. What is that?
I'm sorry.
She wants to know about the
You
CAE.
have CAE after your name. I'm not familiar with
Oh,
that. What
I'm
is
a
that?
certified association executive.
Okay, and you're a part of that organization?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you do anything for them?
Yeah, I helped evaluate their conference programming this past year. And then now I'm not going to the conference, which is this weekend.
Speaking.
Um, but yeah, I'm very well networked in my community, and I've
Uh-huh.
actually started a new initiative to increase my visibility within that community, as in
Okay.
after spending, 18 months job hunting and helping a number of younger people through their job searches in associations, I realized that I have some expertise to share. And so I've developed a weekly newsletter that goes out sharing kind of the harder to discover job opportunities in the association space to that audience and started growing that audience. So that's something I'm doing for fun. It could
Okay, but it's
generate
work. It's
it's
work. And is that on your
work.
resume?
Well, it is, but like that's not the value that I deliver to the organizations that I join because I'm a senior level executive who can help an organization grow its membership, its revenue, its engagement. And because of that and the way that I position myself, a lot of this just has to do with paying forward to the community that I'm a part of
But
based
I
on
think to
everything that I
But
Rosalind's
do.
it's
point,
still
though,
work.
it's still work. It's
Yeah.
still work,
Correct.
and it's still and to the recruiter's point, it overcomes the experience
Objection.
gap because you're still pedaling. Okay.
Right.
Not the senior level work, but it's still work and it's still skills, right, that are adjacent to the work that you do. And it can help to overcome that.
Yeah,
Right.
the fact that you started a newsletter,
Exactly.
what motivated you to do that? And you're providing a great service to younger people.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly. So you're
Yeah.
mentoring. Do you have it in your feature section of your LinkedIn profile?
I have it as my employer that I founded it and that I'm the
No, but
publisher.
I'm
Good.
saying your
Yeah.
newsletter, is it actually a part of your featured section of your LinkedIn profile?
I don't know that I've done that yet, but I've got a page. I have, not only did I announce it on LinkedIn, but I had other people from the association space saying, look at what this cool thing that Helen did. And so I've got about 150 followers now. And every week I get 3 to 5 new subscribers on the Substack. I just turned off the pledging item on Substack. So I
Mhm.
think that'll help with the friction of people going, oh no, I'm not going to pay for this. And I'm like, that's cool. I understand. But I
Helen,
just,
you're being undercover. This is so exciting. You really are doing things, but you're just not giving yourself credit for it.
well, I'm definitely giving myself shout outs all the time. It's very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah, no, but what I'm saying is you want to put it out there, LinkedIn, so that these recruiters, so you're not actually working per se, but you are working, you're doing things. Because I get it. I've been out of work since November of 24, so I can relate to you. And I know how it can make you feel when folks say, what are you doing? What have you been doing? You're not being productive. I'm volunteering.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm volunteering as a project manager. So I'm keeping my project management skills
Right.
um, polished. But the other thing that I wanted to share, and then I'll be done. I see Mike. Hey, Mike. Did you guys know that you can go to LinkedIn when you're looking for jobs? And did you know that there's a section that says volunteer? You can click on the volunteer and it'll list all of the companies and all of the folks that are looking for volunteers. And you might be able to find, quote, work that way in the field that you're interested in, because you can filter LinkedIn to the nth degree. And you might find some volunteer opportunities that way that align more with what you're looking to do.
So
So I just wanted to throw that little
Rosalind,
nugget out
is
there.
that on, I'm not familiar with that. Is that on the job board side?
It's on the job board. So when you actually
Um,
go to jobs, you can then go into filters, because I think it says all filters or filters. And then you can go in there and it's a little box that you would check that says volunteer. And you can see all of the volunteer opportunities that companies and individuals are looking for. And that's another way to gain experience slash work.
Thank you for that. Didn't know that. Great. Love these tips.
You're welcome.
Perfect. All right. Who else has a question, topic, shout out, a success story? We love success stories. Need to.
Sure. Thank you. I would say that as a part of volunteering, I also went to a conference, PMI Agile conference, and I put myself up on this for an on-the-spot lightning talk, something I've done for the first time, something it was like I had to get out there. The visibility is something that I find that I'm hiding myself from. It was a huge success. It was well received. I'm getting a good number of posts in there, likes and everything, and that led me into another NSA, which is a National Speaking Academy, and these people are like medals with years and years of paid speaking engagement. But
Yeah.
with the work I did, they love my work. They got me connected to other potentials, and I'm actually navigating through, maybe a paid speaking event
Love
where I
it.
can talk about project management. Yes,
Great.
exactly. So I just wanted to share that you never know in which direction things go. Just keep exploring and talking and share your stories.
Right.
Sharing your stories is a very good nugget.
That's exactly right. I love that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. That's great. And also be able is, and what you're sharing and what what Helen was sharing, share your thought leadership, share your content, share your expertise. There are so many ways to do that now. Whether you're speaking, whether you're blogging, whether you're writing, whether you convene a group like this, how easy is it for us to have gotten together? Threw up a meetup page, right? People start coming. You never know, right? Helen and I both know of individuals in our association community who've done podcasts, who do these, showcase people in the community who interview people who are doing interesting things. I mean, Helen and we have a list of people, right, who do these things all the time, and they get recognition for having done that. Okay, there are people who we know who literally have built their whole brand around the fact that they interview people in the community. You can be like the Oprah Winfrey of your community. If you know people who are rock stars, okay, interview them. Do a Zoom call, right? It's easy. It's easy. Just bring people online and say and interview them about the work that they're doing. It uplifts the community. You're shown as somebody who is known in the community. You're asking the right questions, and it can actually showcase your own thought leadership. So good stuff.
Great advice.
Yeah. I mean,
Appreciate
really,
it.
you have more to contribute than you realize. It doesn't just have to be in the context of a W-2 job. All kinds of ways. I mean, we're almost, I think all of us are old enough to remember pre-digital, okay, when the only thing you had was the W-2 job pretty much, or you had be self-employed. Now get online, go LinkedIn Live, go start a meetup group, right? Do the blogs, do the podcast, do something that will showcase yourself as a thought leader. It is just so easy to do if you have something to say and know the other people in your community who also have something to say. And
yes, can I say something?
sure.
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up because it reminds me of like since I wanna like get more involved in my community and like I'm trying to think of the proper term, but like getting get more involved like in leadership roles. I mean, I've been craving that, get more involved in leadership roles. I mean, just what you just mentioned, that's a perfect example of like how, like a reminder that what I could do, like say the podcast and all that, because I want to do that. I want to get more involved and talk about, I mean, this is perfect. The digital age, this what a great tool to do that. So thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate it.
And I will share with you, our Gen Z colleagues, who I don't think are on this call, have been doing that for years, right? They know how
Yes.
to be influencers and they do all of these, they have these online communities that we know nothing about, right? But they themselves are getting very involved. And a lot of them, honestly, are making a lot of money off of it, just to say. And they're not taking W-2
Yes.
jobs because they have a whole digital world where they can connect. And a lot of us are kind of stuck in the W-2 mindset. A lot of other opportunities for us to engage that we just have to think more creatively.
Yeah, and right now it's interesting that you say that because I remember a few years ago my nephews, since I thought about going into comedy, they said, "Oh, you should go on YouTube and do this and that, man." I'm like, it just once again, it's a
We're
reminder, and
not thinking about it.
I
Yeah.
just it crossed my mind, but I didn't do it. So
I think we have a lot to
mhm,
learn from our younger colleagues about how they engage digitally. We really do. They can teach us a thing or two.
yes,
They really do. Something else to toss in the mix here, speaking of associations, is that most of us on this call have opportunities to volunteer and to get leadership experience through local chapters. Local chapters.
okay,
So many, not all, many associations, and there's an association for everything. Um,
yes, yes,
Many of them have local chapters, and you can build a skill set. I'll just give you my personal example. So, in fact, this is how Vern and I met. We met in the human resources local community here in the DMV, and I got to be volunteer leader, as was Vern, on the board of a group called the HR Leadership Forum. I know both of us, right, leveled up our leadership skills. I also was on the board of the local chapter of SHRM, the DC SHRM, and I put on 3 conferences, just volunteer, right, locally, of
mm,
year after year. Yeah. And I built meeting planning skills. Who knew? Right? And it was an
okay,
interesting skill
yes,
builder that is actually some transferable skills that have helped me in other areas of my life. So local chapters, you can get visibility, you build your leadership skills, it builds your brand,
okay,
builds relationships. And again, that's how Vern's on this call, because we built a
yes.
relationship over a decade ago in that forum. And now he and I are partnering together on this. So really highly, highly recommend volunteering at a local chapter, and need to, of course, the DC, chapter of PMI, right? There's all these different groups that you could be involved with.
I think one of the problems is that people, when they talk about volunteering, they say, "Oh, I'm only volunteering,"
No, it's not an only.
something.
Mm-mm.
I know it's not an only,
Yeah.
but I've talked to some people, "Oh, I'm only volunteering," and I'm thinking like, then you get into that mindset, that it's not as important as a paying job.
It's huge. In fact,
I know.
there are groups where, in fact, yesterday I was talking to a colleague, her name is Giselle, and she's now on the board of I didn't even know this thing existed, Washington Women in Public Relations.
Oh, wow.
There's this new group,
Mm,
okay? And she said to me
okay,
specifically, it's an all volunteer organization. People are given hours and hours and hours and hours of their time to make this thing go, right? But it's work. It's important work. And to your point, Linda, we gotta, if you are volunteering, let people know it is work. It's hard work. In fact, sometimes it can be a 40-hour job if you lean
mm,
into it enough,
okay,
Yeah, definitely.
nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. Need to.
Yes, yeah, you said it. It is beyond, and if you look at it as an opportunity, like I see it as an opportunity to expand and grow my own visibility. Like I found I'm into the communications of PMI, and I made roadways to see, oh, can we have a blog? And then I'm going to write a blog every month. So I'm going to showcase my expertise out there.
Exactly.
Then I can also make a 30-minute video.
That's
Something
right.
I got myself approved. Nobody's doing it. So,
That's right.
you can come up with your own ways in which you want to
Absolutely.
showcase your talent. Then I'm also connecting the dots between, I'm also pursuing my master's at the college, North Carolina State University. So I'm bringing in marketing folks out there in the volunteers. So I'm making my own group here. Plus, I'm also speaking at NCSU for, mid people who would want to pivot into careers of project and program management. So I'm building the bridges between the PMI and the NCSU to create a student club, mentoring, and many of those. So it's just opening roads into many possibilities.
And I'll jump off of that, and then we'll move on. What Neetu is basically saying is be enterprising. There's usually some sort of knowledge gap or some sort of need out there. Helen mentioned it herself. She found a need for helping next geners. Isn't even doing it under the auspices of an association. She's just doing it herself. So whether you're doing it yourself or whether you're going to an association saying, look, I see a need. Can I start a committee? Can I start a program? Can I start a project? Can I start an initiative? A lot of times they'll say yes, like, great, you got the idea. We're going to voluntold you, go do it. And then all of a sudden, some new initiative is created. So just find the gap, be enterprising, use your skill. It helps everybody. It's a win-win-win, right? It's a rising tide.
Yeah. And that becomes really part of, it could become part of your resume. It could
Exactly.
become part of an answer to a question in an interview
Correct.
that just sparks something, and you can tell the story about volunteering and what you accomplished.
And the
You
impact
know?
you made.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Good conversation. All right. Other questions? If
One
not,
thing that's been my concern is the age thing, age discrimination.
sure.
Nobody's going to tell you that, well, we think you're a little bit too old. They look at you and they see some gray hairs or obviously somebody who's been around for a while, and then they right away, okay, we don't want, of course they can't say that, but I mean, how do you like deal with it,
Yeah, I have a whole talk on that actually. um, it's not that it doesn't exist, but I'm going to shift the mindset a little bit. It's not really about age. It's more about experience. Okay. Employers have one goal when they are hiring. I say, Vern, what am I about to say? What are employers trying to do?
Hire the right person for the right
Yes.
job.
And manage their risk,
Yeah.
right? It's all about risk management for them. So regardless of your age, think of it more as career stage. Okay, career stage. And so employers, when they're looking at filling the job, that's one of the things that they are thinking about. Are you at the right career level? In fact, Joan, when she was on the call, was talking about that. Are you in their mind? Why are they thinking that? Why do they even care? They care that you're going to be a flight risk. They care that if you are going to be in a job that they think you are overqualified for, that means to them, hey, are you going to be challenged in this role? Okay, period. And so sometimes that is the perception. Now, it's not the only reason why ageism exists, okay, but that's one that has to do with career stage. The others, right? Sometimes people have a sense, have a think about technology. Are you keeping up with technology? Now, if you are, great, showcase that. Do you have energy for the job? Are you going to lean in and give it your all? If you are, show that on the interview. Making sure that you're applying for jobs that are at the appropriate level for your experience. Now, Joan was making a very good point. Some people feel that they want to take a step back. That means you have to overcome that. But if you can stay at the level that you've been at, that can be helpful as well. So it doesn't have to be an age thing. No one's asking for your driver's license to look at your age. Really. I mean, think about it. No one would ever know other than a mindset. So if you remove the mindset, people feel mindsets. We leak. When we think a certain way, we
Mhm.
start to show up a certain way. Okay. You remove the mindset and say, it's not even a thing. I'm going to ignore that concept. I'm just going to go after the jobs I'm qualified for. I'm going to show energy. I'm going to show my skill set. I have what to contribute. I'm excited about this. Who wouldn't love that? Right. So I just really, really want to encourage you to just push the mindset aside and go after the jobs that you think you're going to be really qualified for and enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I always found it very hilarious that because of when I graduated from college, I appear to be 10 years younger than I am.
Oh,
And
that's funny.
it doesn't hurt that
That
I
doesn't
kind of
hurt.
look 10 years younger than I am. But I have noticed now that that 10-year advantage isn't as advantageous as it used to
Well,
be.
yeah,
So,
things get
but it's hard to, on the one hand, be like, I don't want people to judge me based on my age, but at the same time, I have 25 years of experience doing what I do. And I don't want to undercut that to an employer because that's part of what that's my value. I have the experience.
Mhm.
But kind of like translating between the job opportunity that says that they need 8 to 12 years of experience and me saying I have 25, they're
Well,
like,
can I just step in for that with that for a second?
sure, yeah.
And Vern, you can talk about this too. No one, and I mean no one, no employer is ever going to say on a job description, even for senior level positions, we need 25 years of experience. Nobody's going to say that. The most they're going to say is what we call the 10 to 15 years. That's it. In our world, me and Vern, okay, that is code for seasoned. It doesn't actually mean 10 to 15 years of experience after college. It means 10 to 15 years plus experience in your field at your level that shows that you are actually super qualified. No one will say 25 years. So I want you to just put that aside. But that said, those years of experience brackets can be code for the level that they're looking for. So here it is, right? So if you are at a seasoned senior level, your code is when you see 10 to 15 years, that actually is the role for you. If on the contract, by contrast, you see a job that says 3 to 5 years of experience, which doesn't necessarily mean 3 to 5 years after school, but what it does indicate to you is it's a low level position. That is code. Same thing with 5 to 7. Okay. 3 to 5, 5 to 7, anything in that, it's literally telling you that they don't need a lot of experience. They're not expecting a lot of experience for the role, which means they don't consider this to be a high level role. You look at the 10 to 15 years, that actually is code for senior level. Vern, you want to chime in on
Yeah,
that?
no, I would agree with that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you have to decipher HR.
yeah.
All right, Cassius.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, what is the optimal age to be in the workforce? Because I remember when I was younger, the complaint was you don't have enough experience. You need to get more experience. And now that I'm older, it's oh, you have
You
too
have too
much
much experience.
experience. And it's like,
Yeah,
what?
right.
Because I mean, I'm
What
thinking
is
like,
it?
yeah, what is it? And also, do you think part of the problem about hiring older people is because they know they can save more money? Do you think it's a fun?
Sometimes
'Cause-
it is that. And again, it's not
yeah.
about, it's career stage, right? It's level of experience, not age
But
per
what is the
se.
optimal age?
So, all right, here's what I will tell you.
40.
So employers in general, okay, they're not going to say this. They're not going to say this, but generally people between the ages of 25 and 45 are kind of the sort of mostly hired. Plenty of people get hired at 55 and 65, and plenty of people get hired at 23. Okay, so it's just a bell curve. But as far as the bracket, when recent grads, all recent grads have always have had trouble breaking it because it's like you need experience to get experience, and most employers don't want to be the guinea pig, right? They don't want to experiment on someone who has no experience. So it's always, always, always been hard. So they normally say like 1 to 2 years of experience. That's kind of the threshold at the bottom. And then, the whole kind of 25, 30 years, right? But again, there's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, I have placed people who are very seasoned in their career because they were the right fit for the job. So you only need one job. You don't need 100. So your job is to do your best to find the right alignment. Are you qualified? Are you interested? By the way, not just are you interested, then are you qualified? Are you qualified and then are you interested? Because if you're just interested and you're not qualified, that's a challenge for the employer. But if you are both, right, you have a much better chance. In fact, I'm going to share a slide. I just did an interview presentation to a group, and I want to share one slide with you that actually that kind of encapsulates what we're talking about for managing risk. Okay, this these are the categories. In fact, Vern, if I'm missing anything, please let me know. These are the ones that I could think of.
Yeah.
This is what an employer is looking for. Can you actually do the work? Do you know our sector, or are you going to need a long ramp up? Are you positioned, right? Is your career level, just like we were talking about, are you over or under what people think that they need? Are your career motivators aligned? Will you fit into our culture? Are your salary expectations realistic? And geographically, can you meet the commute, right? All the things. Vern, am I missing anything here?
No, I don't think so. It's a pretty
Okay.
comprehensive list.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel free to take a picture of this. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are vetting jobs for yourself, do this checklist. Think about it. Every single aspect of this. You always have to think about the hiring manager's perspective in addition to yours. You're equally as important. They're not more important. You're not, but you're equally as important. But this list will help you to vet properly. Can I do it? Do I have sectoral expertise? And if you're missing any of these, how do I overcome it? Well, I don't have the sectoral expertise. How am I going to overcome that? Well, my career level is above or below. How am I going to overcome that? Well, do I have the career motivator? Am I really interested in it? Why? Why not? Do I need to ask more questions? Do I need to ask questions about culture fit? Do I know my own personality? Do I know how I fit into cultures? What's the right culture for me? Am I the right culture for them? Right? Is my salary aligned? Geographically, is this the right commute for me? Because as we know, more and more employers are bringing people back into the office. We're no longer fully remote like in COVID. Okay. Is the hybrid situation going to work out? Think about these things before you even apply to know whether you should apply, number one, and number two, that you can overcome these things in an interview.
Yeah.
So hope this is helpful.
So
One thing that I see
yeah.
in that really is like speaking to me is that sector background item, because I'm realizing that the mismatch that I didn't see between my resume and what the recruiter saw for this position that I thought I was very closely aligned in is that I had certain things in my background that aligned really closely to the work of this organization that I was applying to. But I didn't spell that out in the resume. So there was an assumption that I didn't have experience with this particular organizational thing. For association folks, it's chapters.
Yeah.
So you were talking about chapters earlier, but like not all associations have chapters, but a lot of them do. And I have a lot of chapter management experience. So, but that's not spelled out on my resume. And that was the critical skill that they were looking for. So during the conversation, I talked about it a little bit, but they had already made the call that I wasn't going to move forward by that point. So it's just interesting that that sector background, like doing a better job of making sure that when I see the job description, hearing
Yes.
that particular skill that I have, making sure that's spelled out in the resume near the top.
You just hit the nail on the proverbial head. You really did. It is so important when you are reading the job description that you do your very, very, very best to align your resume with the job. Don't just rely on AI to do that for you. If you're using AI, nothing wrong with using AI, but it does not know everything. It's going to make all kinds of assumptions. You have to really, really read. In fact, I'm going to go through this real quick because I have hold on a second. Here. So reading the job description like a recruiter. Okay. So you need to make sure, again, you are actually qualified. I can't emphasize that to you enough. Vern and I know so many job seekers who go after a job just because, well, I'm interested. No, you have to be qualified first. And then you need to tailor your stories. If you really get into the job description, figure out on your resume which stories you want to highlight, and in the interview, which stories do you need to highlight? Okay. Which also helps you to ask strategic questions about the role. And if you understand what they really are focused on, I'm going to give you an example here. So Helen, this is somebody that I'm sure you would know. Her name is Sue. And she was coaching with me, and she was looking for a VP of marketing role. And she, like most of my coaching clients, she just threw a description and said, "Oh, Shira, what do you think of this?" And I said to her, "Sue, I said, you're a marketing person. Did you notice the 3 of these bullets were about media relations?" She's like, "I didn't even see it. Didn't even see it." Turns out that job, it was called VP of Marketing and Communications. What they were really looking for was a PR person. And she was really a digital marketer. Okay. We all see what we want to see, and we don't see what we want to see. Let me say that again. We see what we want to see, and we don't see what we don't want to see. That's the human nature. That's how the brain works. We focus on the things that are important to us. If you gloss over the job description, you might overlook some very critical skill sets that they're looking for. If you find them, A, are you actually interested in the role? Are you qualified for the role? Is your resume aligned with the role? And is your interviewing star stories aligned with the role? Is that helpful? So I'm not going to go into my whole presentation here, but I thought that this could be helpful for you. Okay. And I'll just give you one more thing here, and I won't go into all of this. If you want to take a picture of this, this is another way that you can get into the posting, looking at required and preferred. What are the pain points that people want to solve? So feel free to take a screenshot. All right. Hope this was helpful. Okay. So with that, we are kind of at time. Any other last minute questions before we wrap up? All right. Well, this has been pretty robust.
Thank you, as always, for a great session.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everybody for all your input and advice. We're here to collaborate with each other. Oh, and I do keep forgetting to pull this in, but I'm going to pull in the Google Sheet that we have here that has, hold on. I'm going to copy the link. Okay. For those of you who want to keep the networking going, this is the Google Doc that we've created. And Vern, if you can help me remind me, I really want to do this every time because I keep forgetting to put this up.
Okay.
Then you can put your information in there, context information, what you're looking for on all the things. And then the last thing I will put in, Vern, did you put in your full contact info?
Yes, I did. And
okay.
And the other thing that I put in the chat was a link to a networking competency assessment.
Good.
So if you want to get a little bit of feedback on your networking skills, it'll only take about 20 minutes to complete that assessment, and we can go from there.
Excellent. Yeah, and Vern is the master networker. He has his whole business model is around helping people to network. So please take advantage of that. He's excellent at that. Something else I'm going to put in here for myself, not only my own full contact information in the consultation, but another link for this group if you want to pass it on to folks. The recordings for this group is in that link as well. And also for those of you who are 50 plus and would like to re-career into self-employment, I have another community service program called BoomerWorks, which is now a website full of over 40 videos on how to start your business, networking, business conceptualization, all the things. So feel free to take advantage of that as well and share with your colleagues.
That'd be good for Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis, if you want to go, so if you look at that link, boomerworks.org, you can go to our training tab, and then there's all these different sections with lots of videos, 90-minute videos.
No, thank you very much. Of course, needless to say, I've gotten a lot out of this. So, just for some reminders, and that's why I really appreciate the work that you're doing. So, and God willing, I'll keep all of you posted. If I do make it at comedy, I'll once again, I'll give you free tickets too. So I'll keep you posted.
We'll see you at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, and then hopefully maybe you'll say, "Oh yeah, this Lewis. I remember I met him. I remember him."
We'll say we knew you when.
There you go.
Lewis,
all right, thank you. Really appreciate it.
I'm a comic wannabe. Lewis, I'm a comic wannabe. In other words, I'm not really trying to be a comic, but I try to have the same philosophy, make people laugh every day. So when you were saying that you didn't want the rotten fruit and all of that, vegetables thrown at you, and then Shira and I think Helen said, no, you want fresh produce. I would fold that into your comedy shtick.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Make that
yeah.
one of your comedy things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I always
If you're
joke
going
that
to
I'm a
throw them,
Yeah.
sit-down
everyone,
comedian.
You're
just
So,
good.
don't
yeah.
throw rotten, throw
Throw one.
fresh.
Throw
I want a
fresh.
salad.
Fresh. Fresh is the key
Bring a
word.
salad bowl up there.
Trying to get more fiber.
That's right.
There you go. There, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to lose weight, so I'll take all
Fresh
the
fruit.
advice I could get as far as losing weight.
Funny.
So, all right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much to all of
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. So everyone, as per usual, we'll formally close the call right now, but for those who would like to stay on, I offer a short prayer call for those who are interested in that, and we'll do that in a little bit. And for everyone, look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Feel free to bring your colleagues. We are open for all. All right.
Thanks, Shira.
Take
Have a
care,
blessed day,
everybody.
Thank
everyone.
you.
God bless.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shira.
Thank you.
Same here.